right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Custom Culture Rodcast, brought to you by Murpho's Rod and Custom Shop and Jenny Shifter, the original and still the best Jenny Shifter. We are sitting here in Murpho's shop in beautiful Beto, Texas, and I'm sitting right here next to the man. Murpho, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good, Deuce. I'm hanging in there. For all our listeners out there, it is, again, hot-ass Texas, and we're doing our best to be out in the shop to do this show, and it's a little sweltering in here.
Yeah.
But I'm good, dude.
Until you win the lotto and put an air conditioner in this thing because it costs $500,000.
And it's good to be back.
It is good to be back. I'm glad to be here. And Custom Colette, how are you?
I'm swell.
You're
So well.
She's pouring her emergency into her water.
Yes, not sponsored by, but I am doing this emergency C to try to heal my feeling like I'm Fran Drescher right now.
We're getting ready to head out west to go to the Cruising Nationals and West Coast Customs, go be part of the Hall of Fame. And this is like the fourth flying trip that we've done, I think, consecutively, where Miss Colette has managed to somehow get sick
Right
just
before.
prior to
short period of time. Too.
Always happens, and I don't know why. And I'm starting to get. I'm starting to say that I shouldn't say we're leaving anywhere because then I probably won't get sick and just surprise. Let's go.
There you go.
You know, like this.
Don't tell her.
Shock
Wait,
it. Shock
Go pack your bags. We're out.
I don't know how you work that out, but it sounds like a plan. Yeah.
Well, what's been new in the shop, man?
Okay, so we've been like heads down. We have a lot going on in the shop. There's a killer 53 Chevrolet sitting next to us right here that we were fortunate enough to do in the
chop
class for a good friend Brian McDowell out of Kansas, and it's getting wrapped up. I'm going to do the metal work and kind of zip all that together, and we're going to get that home to him so he can continue on with his project.
Nice.
That's been really fun. Otherwise, kind of business as usual, but there's quite a bit going on.
Well, there's something really big going on today, which this is the second time in the history of the show that we have our guest is in house today.
I love it. I want more of it.
And for all you out there, let me introduce him. This is Bob McCarty, otherwise known as Big Daddy Boss Man Bob from Eville Shindig Show in Evansville, Indiana. How are you doing, sir? And welcome to the show.
Great. How about you?
We're doing well, man. We're glad you're here.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for being here.
Yep.
And live.
And live.
Yeah,
In the flesh.
In the flesh.
This
She's
is
like,
the second time ever.
hey, guess what? I'm going to be in Texas. And I was like, no way. We're going to just do this live. So that's exciting.
Well, you should tell everyone, what's going on, why you're here,
Well, I had to drive all the way down here just to see you guys.
That's
really what it was all about. Just, I knew I was going to do this not live, so I thought, man, I'll just hop in the truck and drive down here. No. It's always around a car. It's car people. It always has to be with trading cars, buying cars, fixing cars, making cars. It's
driving
cars, driving cars, going to car shows, going to California and winning awards. It's always about the cars.
Yeah.
And the people. I love the people.
Yeah.
It's also about the people. But
yeah,
that's what brings me to Texas.
Yeah, and I can't. We've been sworn to secrecy.
Yeah.
Bob is on a mission that we can't really talk about, but it's really cool for him. I'm excited for him, and that's all I'm going to tell you.
Well, there is things we can talk about.
Okay.
And there's a song that was written back in the 60s called I'm a Cadillac Man. You
Oh, really? We're going to go down that lane already?
We might as well now.
We're just going to go right down that road already. Okay.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about Cadillac Man.
We brought it up a little bit ago, and I figured, hey, why not?
I have a couple most amazing stories about Cadillacs.
Yes.
So first one is, I've been into cars for a long time. I was a Mopar man for years. So I liked, I had everything Mopar. I had Cudas and Challengers and GTXs and all that stuff. And about 20 years ago, I kind of phased out of that stuff and started getting into more of the customs and hot rod stuff.
Yeah.
I've always liked that stuff, but I just really kind of, gravitated more to it. Well, I happened to find a really nice 55 Cadillac that was messed up, and I set off to get it and bring it home and start working on it and making it my own. So, just like always, you have to change the caps and lower it and make it your own. I don't know if you remember the red 55 that I had.
I do.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So after having that a few years, I drove all the way to Austin and bought a 58 Buick Estate Wagon. I had to have it more. My wife was so mad when I sold the Cadillac. She was just furious with me. So I was in the doghouse for a while for getting rid of the Cadillac.
I can't say I blame her for that one. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was,
no.
This reminds me of another story, but
it was a beautiful car. So I sold it to a guy, and he flips cars for a living. He did some work on the car. Next thing you know, I get some emails about a year later, and they say, "Hey, is this your car?" And I'm like, "It is my car." And it was, we took all the emblems off, so it was devoid of all the emblems, and it was, it wasn't shaved, but we got rid of a lot of the chrome trim and the emblems on it. So I knew without a doubt it was my car. Well, it happened to be sitting at Rick Ross's house, the movie or the big mogul for for the records and stuff. So, and then the next email that I got was my car sitting out front, and he was like, "Look at my baby, check out my baby." And it was my Cadillac. And I'm like, oh my God, it's sitting at his house. So how cool would it be to go visit that Cadillac?
Great.
He's having a big car show soon, but I don't think I could afford to go to it. It's like $1,000 a car to take your car to
Really?
his car show on his place. But it'd be neat to go see my red Cadillac. So let's
Be like, my baby.
Yeah.
Show him a
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah.
That's
you
my
ought to
baby.
get an invite for that vehicle. You've been in that car.
I should. I really should.
Even if we don't have them, they're still our car babies.
Yeah.
Hey, Rick Ross, if you watching this or one of your people are watching this,
Yeah, that's
shout
a
out to
free
Bob for his
ticket.
Get a
Cadillac,
hold of
man.
Bob. Yeah.
Yeah.
get a load to Big Daddy Bob
And,
at Eville Shindig, man. Get
yeah,
him over
show
there.
some
He'll tell you all
love.
about the car.
All about your new baby. Yeah.
yeah.
So then the what they really called me the Cadillac man for, and this is one of those things where I've kept it on the down low. Only my friends know, and now the whole world will know because it's just the craziest story you ever heard.
And
in
we
your
are
lifetime.
worldwide,
Yeah.
And we are. This is a worldwide story.
right?
So it starts out like this. Me and my friend Neil were at lunch one day, and he says, "Hey, my friend has this car that his mom passed away. It's a beautiful 2001 Cadillac. Why don't we buy it and flip it, make some money?" I said, "No problem." So we bought it. I have a store. We put it in front of the store for sale. I had it sold to a younger kid one day, and we didn't get the title back because mom was passed away,
Right.
so we were waiting on the title. So out of the blue one day, I get a phone call, and it says, "Hey, I'm looking at that Cadillac you have in front of your store, and I think I'd like to buy it. What's the number on that thing?" So we negotiated the number, and he said, my sisters come up here. I'm handicapped, so she come up here to help me, and we're gonna buy that car so she'll have a way to drive around. I said, "Well, sure." He said, "I'll see you in about 30 minutes. Truck pulls up in front of the store. I walk outside, and I walk outside and show this lady the car, and she's like, "I'll take it." So I showed her the inside. I showed her the trunk. I showed her how everything worked, and she was excited about getting her a new Cadillac, which it was beautiful. I mean, it was a cream puff. And go inside. We do the paperwork. She write out a bill of sale, and she writes a bill of sale out, and she proceeds to leave, and she hops out and gets in the car and takes off, and the truck backs up and takes off behind her. I'm like, that was an odd situation. She had a long wig on, like brown wig down to here.
Uh-huh.
She was clutching her purse, and she was kind of sketchy,
Yeah.
But I thought, well, she was nice to me. Maybe she had cancer or something. Maybe she just had something going on that day. Big thick glasses.
So you
Okay.
can see your eyes.
So next day at lunch, I told my buddy, I said, "Hey man, this was the weirdest thing ever. This lady was the whole situation was odd. I just had that tingly feeling, it's like something was really
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
So
You're feeling the vibe.
I was feeling something, man.
Yeah.
So a week later, exactly a week later, I looked on Facebook and I see this picture, Vicky and Casey White, the inmates from Alabama. Okay. Yeah, look at your faces.
Oh, no.
No.
They happen to be in town. Okay. So I looked at her picture and I'm like, that looks nothing like that lady at all. So later on that day, they had the right pictures from video cameras that was around there. So without a shadow of doubt, it was her
Oh my
that
god.
bought my Cadillac.
She just put on a wig and glasses so you would
they were
recognize.
So they were escaped convicts from Alabama, and you probably know it's made headline news all over everything.
Yeah.
So Vicky and Casey White, this guy was like 6'8", okay, and he had obviously committed murder before, and she broke him out of jail. She was the sheriff jailer.
That's right.
And
That's right.
and she broke him out of jail, and they hightailed it. Well, they thought they were in Tennessee for a while. Evidently, they bought a car in Tennessee. Well, then their next venture was to Evansville, where I live at, Evansville, Indiana. And they just so happened to be at Walmart across the street from my store, and they saw the car.
Holy cow.
So I called my wife and I go, oh man, I'm just beside myself. I don't know what's going on here. And she was like, well, what's going on? So I told her, and she was like, well, call your friends, So I literally dialed the first 5 cops that I know. None of them answered. And then she calls me back and said, oh, it's too late. They wrecked them out. Well, when the sheriff was chasing them down the road in the Cadillac that I sold them.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she evidently committed suicide, and they caught him, and they totaled that car. It was just completely totaled. But just the craziest thing ever, that how they ended up in my town and bought a Cadillac that I had for sale.
In your place, sitting there talking to you.
Yeah, and you're
And
like,
talking
this
to her
is
and everything.
weird,
Yeah.
but I'm going to keep going with it because you're just buying it. Well, I mean, what would you think any other different?
Why would you? I mean,
And even to this day, I'm like, I mean, how does that happen just
That
randomly?
poor little cream puff, though.
Randomly.
So the car
Totaled.
was wrecked.
The car is totaled.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Plus there was, death in it. So it
Well,
got
that's kind of cool.
it got crushed. Well,
I mean,
my friend did say you should go buy the car back and put it on display. And I'm like, I just don't think
It's like a Bonnie
I
and
just don't
Clyde kind
think
of
I can do
situation.
that.
Like,
I just don't think I
you'll
can do
never
that.
believe-
that's not the. Oh,
It's not the kind of
how
fl-
crazy
It's like
is
there's
that?
like
I mean, it's like one of the craziest stories ever. So
Without a doubt.
not everybody knows that story that happened to me, but now the whole world does.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
we kept it on the down low. I told the sheriffs I didn't want nobody to know.
Right.
There was actually a reward that some other guy was trying to get for it. Good for him. We just told him, hey, I don't want no part of that. It just
Yeah.
happened this way. I will say she was a super nice lady to me that day. She did write a fictitious name down. So I have video and probably her last signature
I was gonna say,
that
give an autograph.
that she ever
Wrote before
signed
she-
for that Cadillac.
Yeah.
That's a picture frame with that
yeah.
thing in.
Yeah.
Somebody somewhere will buy that thing.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
all sorts of people.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
Macabre stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah. There's a lot of
Oh, yeah.
macabre. Like the hotel room that they stayed in out there on 41. It's their number one picked
Yeah.
Oh, I bet
hotel
it
room.
is.
Everybody wants it.
Well, and wants
I bet.
that room.
So nobody knows that the Cadillac sat in front of my store on Red Bank Road in front of Walmart, or it would be a national
I mean,
landmark too,
your
probably.
store
sure.
would be
Yeah.
legit.
Yeah.
Like,
You
Yeah.
could be selling tickets for a tour.
Yeah,
Right.
it's,
Yeah.
it's just crazy. So there's been a couple of TV shows about it, and I'm not in none of them. 2020 did an expose on it like a few months ago. They called me. They wanted me to do it. They
You
want to use
said
my
no?
footage and everything. I told them, pay me the money.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
absolutely.
pay me some money.
Pay up.
Yeah.
So they did want to pay me. So they didn't.
then
get
you're
to-
like, nope,
They
can't
didn't
do
get to. They didn't get to use it.
Somebody's gonna
Well, they missed
okay.
out.
I have
so
all that
somebody-
footage.
Say that to-
Somebody's gonna be
Yeah.
calling,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be a
Sooner
thing.
or later, yeah, they're
There's gonna be a
do whole-
documentary
yeah,
on it,
for
and
sure.
we're gonna see Bob in the
Yeah.
credits.
So I was a major part of that whole crazy
Wow,
deal.
that's insane.
That is so. No,
Yeah.
a writer can't make that shit up.
Oh,
you know what
no,
I mean?
no.
That is so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a national manhunt. And why they bought that car and stayed in my town for 10 days,
You'll never know.
I have no idea.
They were having a
Yeah,
good time.
they were
driving
laying
a
low.
Cadillac.
They were actually in the hotel room.
Or maybe
and
they
were-
went to
Was
that
it a
steak
convertible?
place.
No, it was a
Okay.
hardtop
6'8"?
4-door.
Maybe they went to that
Maybe,
steak
yeah,
place that Bob told us
Yeah,
to
maybe
go
the
to while
House
we were
of
at the
Como.
show.
Yeah, one
Yeah,
of the
we
best
did
steaks.
We
go to
can't
that
leave
place, right?
because the steak
the
was
old
that good.
steak place.
Yes.
It was like from 1950
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
And it was so
Those places
good,
were
and
so
they were
cool.
the nicest people.
And the waitresses had been there since it opened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they were there.
House
I
of
mean,
Como, one of the best steaks in the country.
That was
I'm
great.
telling you,
Yeah.
that was the best
We love
place.
that.
We're like, we're gonna
Little
go
hole in the
back.
wall
Do you want to go
place.
again?
Yeah.
I do. I want to go.
That's it. I want to go.
So-
Next time you guys are going
We're
up there,
going.
I'm coming with. Hold on,
They
I'm coming
didn't
We're
with.
leave
going
because
this
of the
year.
steak.
I know, but I don't know if I can get. Hopefully, I can get it out.
Story gets a little better.
Oh
Oh,
boy, there's more.
There's a little
There's
more nugget
more.
to it. So, although I stayed under the
Yeah, you
radar
did.
on the whole thing and wanted to be out of the whole thing, we go to Viva and we're driving back from Viva, and the U.S. Marshal calls me and says, "Hey, we're going to need you in court tomorrow."
Yeah, right.
Oh,
And I'm like, that ain't gonna happen, man. I just drove to
in
Viva in
Vegas.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Vegas, baby.
They're like, well, if you have to go to the closest airport and us fly you in, you have to be here. Because when the wreck happened, she evidently committed suicide.
Okay.
Okay.
While driving down the road.
While driving down the road.
Oh boy.
So,
Hence the total.
so he was telling the police that he was the last one, okay, the that was with her. So he was under her supervision the whole time.
Okay.
So never away from her. So they were trying to
Where
pin
did they get the gun?
they were trying to pin the murder on him, but he was trying to say that he was under her supervision all the time and that she kept an eye on him. But by her coming in the store with me, she could have said, "Hey, I'm being held under duress or whatever,"
Against my
and then he
will.
could have drove off, that kind of thing. So I was going to be the key witness to his trial, and I was like,
Oh,
I
no.
did not want to do that.
Yeah.
So evidently he admitted, he pleaded guilty to absconding with her, basically. And
Wow.
you know, poor girl, she was probably just in love, you know, and that's what
Yeah.
I
What
could
a
think.
So-
kind of sad
She's just a lonely
story.
prison
Yeah,
guard, right?
lonely prison guard. Yep.
Did they
That's what it
get
was.
married when he broke out?
No,
No.
no.
But that was probably part of the guys. I mean,
I think they were talking about
Yeah.
doing that. They were
Yeah.
actually had a plan to go from there to Canada and then fly out of the country.
How long did they make it? Like, how long
They
was
made
there?
it like 15 days,
Yeah.
12
Wow.
days
A
or
couple
something like
weeks,
that.
something like
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
and the majority of the time they spent in your time.
Yeah. A week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hold up in
And he
a,
must not have been out because you're going to notice someone 6'8".
exactly. And that's what they said. He was never, the only time they caught him on a camera is when they bought my car and they ditched the truck they had at a local car wash.
Okay.
So they had him on camera there, but
Yeah, because he's a tall.
they couldn't figure out, you know, if it was him or not, but just a crazy story about
Yeah,
me
and
that
kind of like
happened,
her. I feel really
Look
sad
at you
for
putting
her.
Evansville on the map.
like
huh?
three
Yeah.
3 years ago now. Yeah. So,
Wow.
so I'm double Cadillac man now.
Yeah, the hell
There you
yeah,
go.
are. That's
And I like how I called it a cream puff. I'm like, that poor little cream puff's total.
Yeah, that's all. As soon as we think that's, I'm thinking, oh, man, that's too bad 'cause that's a badass little car.
You know, I always get so sad when like old cars are in movies and they get wrecked. I'm like, no,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
no.
Was it DTS or
Yeah, it was a DTS. Like
Yeah.
DeVille? The long
Right,
one.
right.
it was like a 08 DTS. Yeah.
Wow.
Really pretty. 96,000 miles. It's grocery getter.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grandma was taking
Yeah.
it to the
Grocery
store and
and church.
back.
Yep.
Good old
Yep.
G-Ma.
Oh
Yeah,
my
metal
gosh.
flake gray.
Wow.
What a story.
That's
What a crazy story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's wild.
Yeah, that's worthy of a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to make T-shirts with the thing on the, you know, with her picture on the front of the deal.
Oh yeah.
From the camera.
Yeah.
Here.
But she didn't look like her.
No,
like,
but that's the best part.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
I
was
would've guessed it.
incognito trying to.
Yeah, she was.
lay low.
Pictures they had of her was blonde, and she looked a little heavy set, and of course she was in her uniform.
Yeah, yeah.
So looked nothing like her.
So you just
Yeah.
paid cash for the car and walked
Paid
away?
cash. There's another thing. So evidently, watching the shows after that, the first show that we watched, she had a house that belonged to her. It was worth a couple $100,000.
Oh, I'm
So
sure.
she worked all this out to leave with him, which was her second attempt at it, evidently. But she sold her house for $100,000 and then left with the money. So they paid for that car and the truck out of her money, and then lived on the money for
Right. For
however
couple-
long they could.
Yeah.
So just a crazy car story.
Super crazy.
Yeah.
Man.
That's awesome, though.
Has anybody come back from that one?
You don't.
Yeah.
Well, now we can talk about the show.
Okay.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
I probably should have
Yeah.
started with the show.
Well, that's
We're
all right.
Talk
talking
about the
about
show.
cars. We're leading into
Yeah.
that.
Cadillac
But man, what
Man.
a fantastic story.
Yeah. That's
Oh my God.
That's great. So the show is Eville, Shindig, Hot Rod Customs and Rockabilly Weekend. This will be our 9th year. It's in Evansville, Indiana, and the dates are October 17th, 18th, and 19th of 2024.
Perfect
And,
weather then, right?
it's
Yeah,
beautiful
actually,
weather
it's
then.
really great.
Got a
The
little windy on you.
windy-
Got a little windy on you.
The wind
Yeah.
was a little much,
It's not,
but
it's not
last year.
no, it's
112.
actually
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of really cool things that
And
we
the
do over
grounds are
weekend.
great.
Yeah.
They're so great.
Yeah.
There's just so much to do and feels like the shortest time ever.
Yeah, that's the problem when you do stuff like that. you go, and it just happens so fast.
It
It's
does.
over,
And then
yeah.
you're like, it's over. And you're like, no, what
Back
do
to
you
the
mean?
grind,
Everybody's
you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
leaving.
I loved it. Last year was my first year to go. Thank you. We had an amazing time, and I'll tell you that it was really laid back.
Yeah.
It was a great environment, atmosphere. You know, the vibe and the people were super chill. We had a hell of a time there. We worked really hard while we were there.
Yes.
We were doing the chop,
And so does
that was
Bob.
great.
Like the people,
Oh,
and I
this dude,
don't
like,
think
it's-
people
yeah.
realize that promoters, how hard they work. And when they need the volunteers and they need the help, like give it to them, because you were, but anytime we called, he was right there.
Mm-hmm.
It might not have been like right then and there.
Oh, I don't.
But
yeah, I
he
don't
just,
sleep
he's
all the time.
nonstop. There's Bob. And he's not enjoying the wonderful time except for the very end, you know, when he's like, oh, I can finally, like, you know, head down and talk to people and have a cocktail maybe. But
Yeah.
like he's constantly working. So I give it up for the people that put on these shows, because that's a lot of work. A lot
And
of work.
Bob has great get-ups. Yeah. Bob,
he has this Halloween
Bob looks
party.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
has, so it's a explain to them, you know, and people out there who haven't been.
So our show's a little different than others. It's cool because we combine a lot of things that I've liked at other shows. So what I've done over the years is go to other car shows and then just put all the things we like the most of the other shows. So one big thing that we do is we have vintage camping.
Yeah, I love it.
There's a whole big area in the front of the show that's just vintage campers. Last year we had 95 vintage campers registered,
So
and
good.
I think it was about 1,000 cars registered at the show. But it's just so many different things and aspects of it. But
Yeah.
one of the main things is that we do a giant Halloween party on
Yeah.
Friday night. So everybody dresses up, and of course we have rockabilly bands the whole weekend, but we have 3 really good rockabilly bands for that night of the party. And we used to have it on Saturday, but now we have it on Friday because you know what happens? Everybody comes, drinks, and they have a hangover the next day, and then they had to drive home
recover.
10 hours, and it just didn't work out very well. So now we've pretty much got it lined out where Saturday's an easy day,
Recovery.
a recovery
Yeah.
day,
A
kind of
recovery
chill
day,
out.
yeah.
And if you want to drink, you can, but if you don't want to, no big deal. But Friday's the big night with the Halloween party
And the headlining bands.
and the
yeah.
headlining bands that we have. Yeah. And we do kids pedal car contest. We do flame throwing cars in the arena. We do a charity auction for the Hottie Shriners, which is, I'm a Shriner as well. So we do a charity auction for artwork and stuff for that deal. And then the Halloween party. And then we do vintage camper kids trunk or treat, where they go around the vintage
So
campers
cool.
and
That's cool, yeah.
and trick or treat. And then this year we're going to add a adult trunk or treat, like at 7:00. Everybody's going to go around and take shots and drink moonshine at everybody's
Yeah.
campers, and just something really cool and different. Yeah,
Saturday, that's good for us.
just hanging out. Yeah, and maybe this year when you all come to chop a car, which brings up the other subject. Maybe you can get it done a little faster and be able to
Faster than 2 days.
and be able to enjoy some of it.
I
But
know, we wish you
Yeah.
could.
So
they worked their
We're
butts off.
invited back, though.
You all
High
worked
five,
you all worked
five.
your butts off, and it was
Yeah.
great.
we were really excited because we finished, so to speak.
Yes.
It was all complete and tacked
We got
together.
it all tacked
And,
together so he could have
She
the
kept saying, you know,
smoothest-
nobody does this. Like, nobody, like, finishes the
No.
I'm like, well, I'm here, like, to like, we're going to do this thing. Like, I was on a mission.
Yeah.
And that was cool. So,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, we had a great time
I mean,
doing
you're
that.
gonna be there and do it. You do it
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was
And usually
like,
it's kind of an
I was really
impossible
proud of
thing,
that.
but-
It was great, you know. But I'm sure we could manage to make it to.
Maybe we can get
The
you a Model
Friday
A to
night.
chop.
Oh, then
Man.
we're partying.
Yeah.
Yeah, game on. Yeah.
Yeah, but
That'd be rad, though.
The chop you did was amazing.
Thank
It
you.
really turned out great.
How is he? Do we have? I keep trying to get updates from Davey.
Yeah. Well,
I got one.
I'm sure he'll. Davey Turpin, club member, he got his car chopped, and they did a phenomenal job on it. But he's done a bunch of stuff to it. It's. I think for next year, his plan is to bring it to Lone Star.
Yeah, that was the deal.
We keep trying to light a fire under his
Yeah.
butt to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
it done. But
I
What a
will. I'm
great
going to
dude.
contact
He's
him
a
again.
good-
Just
he's
be
a
like,
good
hey,
dude.
how's it
Yeah.
going?
and he's knowledgeable. He's finished
Yeah.
a lot of stuff and done
Yep.
a lot of cool things on it since
Yeah.
you finished it up.
He
So,
was showing me pictures of the hot rod that he built, you know, before that, and I was like, okay, that was great. You know, it's hit. So I have a lot of confidence in him. That he's gonna
Yeah, me
knock
too.
it out. You know,
Oh yeah.
is a 48 Plymouth.
Yes.
Yeah, Yeah, it was cool. It was a fun shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
Amazing profile.
Thank you. And then we wanted him to, and he was so right there the whole time. So it was awesome to see like his reactions as it was happening, and his face would light up, and then his fiance would light up, and I'm like, yes, like that's what it's
she
all
was great
about.
too.
Yeah.
She was super excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a really cool show. For all of our listeners out there, I would tell you that you should go, like, make a point to get to the Eville Shindig.
If you haven't
and
ever been, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. If you've never been, bucket list that thing and get out there. It's really fun. It's a great group and a great weekend.
The people there are just awesome.
Yeah.
You know, everybody there's great.
Yeah, you too, Deuce, this year.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed it last year, but I'm going to come this year.
To me, that's the best part is people.
Yeah.
I mean, I've met so many great people at different shows. It's like, for me, that time of year, it's like a family reunion. Everybody comes there and we all hang out, and it's like, it's the last show before it gets winter, and everybody,
Yep.
up
Right.
there, I'm sure it gets cold down here, but up there, it's like, it shuts down. I mean, it's done.
Your cold
So
is a little different than Texas.
We're
cold,
kind of
yeah.
like the last hurrah. So it's
Yeah,
good. You
end of the season.
kind of get winter blues after that and start on your own projects and start on your own stuff.
And that is the nice part about, being there is like when it does get cold seasons, like that's when you can revive all your stuff, right? So you get in the shop and you're like, I'm gonna change this, I'm gonna change this to start for next car season. Like Texas, you don't really have that.
You have a good
No.
3.5, 4
Yeah.
solid days.
Yeah.
No.
Or hit or miss.
Right. I mean,
But
you
yeah,
know-
that's usually like their slow time, so then they can
Yeah.
do
It's
some
hot,
new
but not
stuff.
so hot.
Up there, it's December, January, February, March, sometimes April. This year we had a good April, but and then you're kind of back on to whatever. So you have that downtime to start on your projects and
you
stuff.
are
so.
under snow all those months.
Actually, we haven't been getting very much snow at all.
No.
We have maybe 1 week that's freezing and maybe 3 or 4 snows that's 3 inches. We're way better than like up to Indy and above. They get lots of snow. They get lots of cold.
Yeah.
We don't really. I say we're probably 8 weeks behind that. So even when it gets cold up there in Evansville at that time in October, the leaves are just kind of turning. It's just really beautiful at that time of year.
Yeah.
So that was amazing time last year. The leaves were all turning and stuff, and it was
I
just
think that's
beautiful.
what all the guys
It's a
said. Like,
pretty-
look at
pretty
the
show.
leaves; they're all
Yeah.
beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
guys were saying that. Come
Yeah.
from Texas, they're like, we don't see this.
So I mean, you can come, you can camp out all weekend. We have spaces for regular campers. We have we have vintage camping. So we do a lot in that weekend, and it's just we want to invite everybody to come out and have fun. And then the main thing is that what we were talking about earlier was you guys are coming back.
Whee!
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's so exciting.
And we're going
excited
to
to
do
do
another
that.
chop.
Yep, and we're
Yeah.
even opening it up to anybody who wants to like submit to have their car chopped. So we haven't located a car yet. So I guess this is kind of their opportunity to say, hey,
Put their hat in the ring.
yeah, we'd like
Hey,
to
man,
get
I got
our
a car. I need a chop. Why
Well,
not throw it in?
see,
This is what I-
dudes, you
Big
just
reveal.
yeah. So I mean, if you're thinking about chopping your top, then reach out to Bob
Or
Yeah.
Colette
or
or
me.
Murph.
Yeah.
Sure.
And we can figure all that out for Eville Shindig chop.
Yeah, definitely. So
Either way, there's going to be a car to shop. Yeah.
One way or the other.
Yeah.
So get a hold of Murphos or get a hold of me. You can reach me at the Facebook page on Messenger or Big Boss Man at evilleshindig.com. And then we can take in your submissions and figure out which one they want to chop that weekend.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity for someone. I know that getting a car chop is pretty darn expensive if you have to pay for it.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
real.
We have a- We have a moderately cheaper route here. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just need to figure out what we can do and get, or what they can do and get done in a weekend.
Right.
Because it's a lot of work. The last one they did was a ton of work, and they did a great job on it. So
We didn't
this one
stop until
commend
it
you.
was done. Yeah.
You worked your butts off. I
Yeah.
would have liked you to be able to
And we're going to do it again.
see a little bit more, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
But I mean, we really love doing it. So
Yeah,
for us,
yeah.
it's like a treat, at the
Well,
same
it's-
Well,
time.
it gets like real, like personal, where
Yeah.
you just like want to put your art together, and
It's
like
cool for
finish
the
the
crowd too, though.
canvas.
You know,
Yeah.
see
We had
it.
a lot of people were like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is This is great. And yeah, we want you to watch. We want you to learn. If there's anything you can learn from that weekend, like we're willing to, answer any questions or anything when it comes to chopping. So
Yeah, and we're sponsoring that by Risingers in town, the local shop, and
those guys were great.
Yeah,
and
they were great.
And he says he wants to be on hand a little bit more and watch what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because that's stuff that they normally don't do in their shop.
Okay.
So
Right.
they
Sure.
really want to be more attentive. He said this year and see what you're doing. Matter of fact, I asked him first if he had anything to chop, and he was like, "Well, let me think." And then,
He's not the one that had the 36 Ford, did he? He has a Ford?
no, we talked
No.
about that as well, but
That would be rad.
I don't think that gentleman wants to chop it though. So.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I understand, but I don't understand, but I understand. Babies are babies. It's not my baby, but if it was my baby, I'd be chopping it. But yeah.
But yes, if you have anything that you want chopped, by all means, reach out.
Yeah,
to
send us a
one of
message because we're going to pick one and we're going to have one regardless. But if we can give out the opportunity for somebody who's, wanting to get it done.
And I guess we could help post for that too.
Yeah, we're definitely going to put out a post after this.
I
It's
have
kind of
I
just
have
like
a post made as well.
announcement to get
Yeah.
it going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited.
me too.
We are too.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to have you back. We also did this they did this amazing trophy for the best custom at the show,
We'll be doing another one.
and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Libra
did
had a
an amazing
really
job.
good time with that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did.
He was like, all this custom paint, let's go. I was like, all right, let's go. So he'll
Yeah.
be doing another one. We have to up it now,
Yeah, both them boys. We brought two people from the shop, David and Spencer, last year to the show, and they had a great time.
Yeah,
You know,
they
they-
really love the Eville
They
Shindig.
haven't been to a lot of bigger shows like that. In fact, Spencer had never chopped a car before.
David's been to shows in California, and he was like, by far, this
Yeah.
was the best time I ever had.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks, man. We're
Now I'm
looking
getting a
forward to
big
coming back.
head.
Yeah, you're the man.
It's like
Well, how long
Yeah.
has this been at this location?
so. This is since COVID. So this is 4 years
Okay.
at this location. We were on a downtown area.
I remember that one.
Which you
Yes.
were there several years ago, and it was a great area. But it was a 1 day show, and it was just a hurry to get everything
Right.
done. And I just always had these illusions of bigger and better
Yeah.
deal and doing it longer because, like you said,
And I think it's great.
most of the shows you go to and. You go there and it's like it's over, and you're
over,
like,
yeah.
oh man,
It just
I saw
started.
the- we had a great
It just
time.
started.
Trip and
Yeah.
like the drive, whatever, and
Yeah.
then it's like done.
And a lot of
And
times,
two, I think it gives people to actually be able to stay longer, right? Because
Yes.
they put it in the plan like one day or like, oh, we have to get all the way out there. We live, how many hours away. So
All
I
of
think
them.
like,
Yeah.
so I think you doing it, you spanning it longer, I think it was the best thing. And your location now. And I loved the first one
Yeah.
because it was like, kind of historical section.
it's a
and
vibe.
yeah, it had a vibe, but I think this tops that. So for
It's
sure.
good for all the people coming too, so they can walk around. There's 1,000 cars out there, so you walk around. You see,
Yeah.
but then they got time.
Then they have
They can go back and go like they show their kids or parents or whatever. Go, hey, Dad, come here, Mom, come here. Look at this car. He goes, I want one of these. You sure you do?
Exactly.
Well, then they got the
Like,
vintage campers,
Yeah,
and
there's
who
others.
doesn't want to see that? You know,
Yeah, that's it's another amazing part of it. And a lot of those people we let them come on Wednesday, so they come in on
Right.
Wednesday
You see
and
it.
stay.
Come
So
on.
they're Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and go home Sunday.
they're just
So
making
it's-
a trip. They're making
That's
it a
cool.
whole.
That's
Right.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
A
They're
whole
watching
weekend
everybody
out of
coming
it.
in and unloading their cars or driving their cars in or campers or whatever. That's rad.
Yeah.
or driving their car with their camp.
Right.
A lot of them do
True.
that
That's
same
cool
thing.
for a lot of kids to see that too, because that's one thing we've always said is that trying to get the younger generation to get the car. It's hard for people to let go of cars. A lot of old guys are holding on to cars, but it's good for the younger kids. They're getting more and more out there where they can turn around. Like guys at your show have kids and they're growing up. They go, hey man, I'm gonna find one of these cars and I'm gonna build them like that. We're gonna build this thing up and do it up.
Yeah, it might
It's
inspire.
awesome.
Yeah,
For me,
sure.
it's all about the kids.
Yeah.
That's why we do the pedal car contest.
Yeah.
And then the dads get involved with the kids and
Yeah.
make a pedal car, and then the kids get involved, and then next year they do another one, and then they do another one.
Yeah,
become a
that's
big
great.
thing.
Our kids really need that.
Yeah.
That our culture needs kids. Like our culture needs to have a future
And our
generation.
culture needs these shows and to support them.
and how to get them involved and have the passion and get hooked and be into the whole thing that we're into. It's really vital. So it's important that you're doing that.
Yeah.
And everybody should be bringing a kid to a car show. and let them have the chance to experience that and see if it's something that they vibe with, and they want to get into.
Exactly. And that brings me to the other point. Saturday is bring kid to the car show day. It's $10 for adults, and kids under 13 are free.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
So that's why
Perfect.
we do that.
Under
we want
13.
them to bring out there. We want them to go to do the trunk or treat or do the kids pedal car contest or see the flame throwing cars, which are amazing. I have
Yeah.
several friends that do that, and they have dialed in from Wisconsin. Mike Johnson and Derek and Axel, they come down there with their cars and throw flames 20, 30 feet in the air. I mean, there's some other guys from up in Chicago that do the same thing.
Yep.
But it's just really cool, something to see. And the kids are just like, wow, I've never seen this before.
Right.
And it's all controlled. It's like all in a little, same like circle, and you can sit and watch, and it's rad. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
We have 207 acres there, and there's a lot of other things that I want to add. So one of the big things I've been wanting to add is a lowbrow art show and a tattoo expo in the building behind us. But when we originally started to do that, the COVID kind of came in and hit that. And then I lost the guy that was going to help me with the tattoo part of it and stuff. But that's stuff that we still really want to bring to it. Another thing that we've been kicking around is the jalopy races in the arena.
Oh yeah, because you do have that whole arena
doing
section.
the hand flag and doing jalopy races. Got a couple of guys, Bobo or Robert Neves. If you hear this, I'm looking for you. I need him to come help me with that, because I've got a little too many irons in the fire now to do everything. So I need somebody to kind of help me with that part of it. But all stuff that we could do there, because we definitely have the room.
That's a place where you can keep expanding it. It's so big. Like it feels like it's huge, but it's even huger than what we're seeing, at the show. So there's only more to be added, at this point.
We have we also have swap meet. Swap meet's growing every year. It's pretty cool stuff there. We have vendors. We're always looking for vendors. If anybody has any car related stuff, Halloween stuff, vendors, we're always looking for that kind of stuff to be there selling that stuff. And we all love Halloween. I do. It's one of my favorite
It's by
times
far
of
my
year.
favorite.
We got some Halloween stuff that stays up all year.
All year.
Oh yeah.
That's
It
cool.
looks like the Haunted Mansion.
Yep.
Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah.
I actually have a Dracula chandelier hanging in my pole barn.
Oh, that's
Nice.
awesome. Yeah. It just has to stay. It's just what goes.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. A little Halloween keeps you kind of sane, I think. Yeah, for real.
The tattoo thing will be cool.
That will be cool.
Yeah.
That's what's cool about this show, though, is that you have the room, but to expand, but sooner or later it's going to be a thing. Where you're going to have these different things. The art show would be amazing.
Yeah.
And then you have the tattoos, and then the next thing I think that's fantastic. It's kind of like a Viva. It'll be very similar to that, except up by you instead of Vegas.
Well, a lot of other things going on too.
Right.
There's a lot of things that Viva can't do. So
Right.
it's-
Difference. There's difference. Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool. But like I said, there's things that I want to expand on, and I have big plans, is what I always say.
Right.
But implementing them is always difficult.
Right.
We
And
have
you're only one person.
volunteers.
Yes.
Volunteers always help a bunch. There's 12 club members now, I think, that pretty much help get in there and dig and help and have certain things that they do, which is tremendous help.
The Clark Club support to your show is awesome.
Oh yeah.
All the clubs there, so that's pretty cool too.
That's a huge part of it, is getting all the car clubs coming in and
That's
supporting us, just like I do theirs.
And you do. You
like
go
you said,
everywhere. He does. One promoter I know, he goes to everybody's show because he loves it.
Right.
So he's going to do it. But that's awesome.
And I get to see all my friends everywhere
And do some research.
and do research.
Yeah. Do a little.
So, man, how did you get into old cars?
Early age.
Uh-huh.
One day I heard something outside the door. It was thumping, and my stepbrother's friend from high school had a '73 Cuda, and he pulled up to pick him up, and he had just gotten it done, big 340 with a big cam in it, and I was like, my ears were standing up. I was like, I had to run out there, and I was like, I think I was like 10 years old, and I was like, what is this? And he was proceeding to tell me what it was. So I was like, one of these days I'm gonna have one of them. And he kind of laughed off, whatever.
Yeah.
And then every time he'd drive by, I'd hear him coming around the corner. So I'd be standing out there looking for him. Finally, one day he takes me for a ride in it.
Oh,
It was over then. It was truly over. I think I went to the library and I checked out every hot rod magazine and I stole every center section out of it and had it up in in my room. I took, I was like big into it back then. And then over the years, there's also another great show in town, the Frog Follies, which is 48 and older. It's more like street rods and stuff. And it's been going on in our town for 50 years. So I remember going to that when I was a little kid and, and been going there for probably 40 years.
Wow. Yeah.
So, there's a lot of great cars in our area. There's a lot of great cars in the tri-state area, Kentucky and Indiana and Illinois. So that's really what got me hooked was the Mopars, And then I'd say my first CUDA that I owned was in 2000 or 1998, I think. I bought it for $500. Spent 5 years and completely rebuilt it. Got it all done, painted it myself, took it all apart, fixed all the rust, painted it. I had it tubbed out and it had the wishbone underneath where, for the drive shaft.
Yeah.
I had it sitting on a cart and I was moving it around and it rolled off and smashed the whole quarter panel in on it. So I just shut the door and I didn't touch it for 6 months. And then I went out there and got it all fixed back up within a month and got the motor in it and got everything running and went to my first Mopar Nationals in like 1998 or 99. And of course I had the fever then, and I built several different ones after that.
I'm going to every show I could possibly get to.
Yeah. And, and then, like I said, later on, I would say going to Beatersville with my son when he was like 2 or 3 years old. I got pictures of him there, seeing all the gassers and everything. And it's like, that's what I want to do next. So then I spent about 7 years and I built a 1940 Dodge Business Coupe gasser with a blown 331 Hemi in it, which now it resides in Germany.
Oh,
Guy bought it from me and it's in Germany.
I love big American cars.
I'm a huge Black Label Society fan, Zach Wild, and so I named it the Berserker.
Okay.
Yep, and it was pretty badass, car, and it's one of those where you have it for a while. Me, I don't keep much.
Yeah.
I always say that I'm a caretaker for a little bit. And then move it on down the line and get something else. That way I can have one of everything. I can't have all of them at once. So
at least he's honest about it, though.
It's everything for me that I have. I would say it's
so there'll
for sale.
never be the one.
Well, I had the one, and I'm really sad. Was my green Packard?
Okay,
my '53 Packard that was chopped. I love that car. It's in Houston now, and I think about it all the time.
It's a big car.
It was a really.
So is that the one that you're like, why did I do that?
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
But I also had a business. So you know how it is in business.
True.
Feast, famine. One day you have money, one day you don't.
Yep.
So I was in a spot at that time.
So there is one that got away.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I always wonder that with people who, are like, yeah, I'm just going to flip it on to the next and then get the next. So is there ever just like the one?
Yeah. I think that one held a special part with me that I really dug the car and I probably should have finished it.
Yeah.
I put a paint job on it. I didn't do the chrome or none of that stuff and did the interior in it. But I would say that's probably the one.
Damn.
Yeah. But and it was just so different. I mean, it's completely different than anything you see. Which is another thing that I'm after is finding those unique cars. This truck. I mean, it's going to be completely different, unique. It's not going to be one other one like it.
There's going to be a one-off for sure.
That's what I like the most.
Yeah.
Which pretty much the cream puff that I have in the trailer right now that I went to Texas to get. So the reveal will be at Custom Car
Revival. Yeah, which is the perfect reveal for this car baby that we got to see. I'm not saying anything, but it is amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
I get chills on my
And he's like, look what I have. I'm
not saying what it is, but
I concur.
You better concur. That's a good concur. Yeah.
I wish you all were going.
Me too.
Yeah.
But I know you can't do everything.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just like really kind of under the gun, we
have to deliver a car.
Yeah,
well, look at all this work, man. It's it's impressive.
The delivery of a car is great, though. That's the good feel, taking a baby home to its owner. So
I was here in 17.
17.
Yeah.
That was my first time here. You just had to shop.
Yeah, right after we moved here. Yeah,
Right after we moved
after,
here,
yeah.
there was only a couple cars in here. So, I mean,
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah,
I mean,
thanks, man.
I've been in business for a long time too, so I know what it takes. It takes a lot.
It does take a lot.
It
takes
does.
a
And
lot.
it takes a lot of years off you.
And it,
Keeps you from getting your own stuff done.
oh, that's for sure.
And
big
that's
time.
factual. Yeah.
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 People don't realize what it's like being in business, especially this business. This business is, you know, a little bit more elevated. It has to be a little bit more particular. I was a jeweler for 20 years.
Yeah.
So, you know, I owned a jewelry store. So mine's really particular too, but it's a lot easier to fix my mistakes than stuff like this. you
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Sure. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
So,
Because he did some custom one-off
Yeah.
pieces. I've
Yeah.
seen them. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I need some of those.
But I like the pretty shiny things. You know, I'm
Yeah.
a jeweler.
I need some
Some of those.
Totally. Yeah. 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 That's great.
Yeah.
So, tell us again the dates of the show this year.
Okay. It's, dates are October 16th. Well, actually, it's the 17th, 18th, and 19th.
19th.
If you have a vintage camper, you can come on the 16th. And then everybody goes home on Sunday. So the show's pretty much done on Sunday because we have a lot of folks that travel, you know, long ways, 8-10 hours.
Yeah.
Because we've become a destination show. It's not just like go there and hang out for a couple hours. People come and stay the whole weekend.
Right.
Especially like this year, we have 7 different rockabilly bands and some great bands. You know, you all have had some great bands here too.
Yeah.
So we've got a really stellar lineup this year as well.
Right.
So far, I have Sasquatch and the Sickabillies.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great.
I have
Yeah.
Hillbilly Casinos coming.
They're great
Great.
too.
Yeah.
Gosh.
A guy from Nashville called Sebastian Bordeaux. Awesome dude. If you don't know who he is, go check him out.
We'll do.
Then on the night of the Halloween party, I have a band from Tyler, Rafael Espinosa and the Rockabilly Railroad.
Okay.
Most people don't know about that guy, but man, he's amazing and he's pretty close to you. If he plays down here somewhere, I would tell you
We might
go,
nab him.
go check him out,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
even book him for
Yeah,
your deal
for-
down here.
Which we're looking
You'll
at
really
now.
like
Bands
them.
right
He's
now, yeah.
he's really
I love when
good.
you say he's pretty
Yeah.
close to us. He's
Yeah.
in Texas.
Tyler.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's you're right.
He's 7.5
He's
hours
He's
away.
far.
2
but-
days away. I always forget that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most places in Texas are
But it's Tyler's
Yeah,
right
yeah.
near the
2 days away.
Texarkana border. You know,
So wherever we go, and we go this way, that way, and that way, you know,
yeah.
crossing the border out of Texas is typically halfway.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
where Bob's
I'm
going
sure.
tonight is
Yeah.
halfway.
I'm
Yeah.
going halfway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Halfway.
Yeah. It's a good 7-hour drive.
Yeah. We hit El Paso. It's halfway to California.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're actually
hit-
it's what 180 some odd miles closer to Los Angeles than you are to the other side of Texas.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy
you're right.
how big it is. Yeah.
Well, you know, I drove all the way to the Texas border
You did too.
Yeah.
in 20 hours in one day, basically. So
Well, he was
Yeah,
getting a
that's
baby,
kinda like
so
half the country.
Well,
Yeah.
I'd be excited to do that
me
too.
I'd be excited to do
Yeah.
that. I ain't
Yeah.
stopping.
I'm
Yeah.
not stopping either.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Stop for gas and Whataburger. I'm going.
Come on, wait,
I
don't-
did.
don't
That's
forget
funny
about
because
that.
I did get a Whataburger on a minute ago on the way back. Hell yeah, I had to have one of those down here.
There
We
you
don't
go.
have those up there. So
Yeah.
you know, I'm really surprised you don't have a Del Taco though. I didn't see any Del Tacos
Man, I
down there.
love Del Taco.
I love Del
Not.
Taco.
Yeah,
There's
there's
a-
not.
Man.
There's a Torchy taco.
I grew up on.
I mean, there's
Del
tacos
Taco,
everywhere,
dude.
but I love Del Taco.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, I haven't had a Del Taco yet, so that's going to be a thing when we
Tell
go to
you what,
California.
Del Taco has.
Yeah.
It's really hit. Other than
Yeah.
the normal the usual suspects is the crinkle fries,
Yes.
right, and the burgers.
Yeah.
Are
At a
hit
taco
at
place?
Del Taco.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah, but I don't get the burgers there.
No,
I
I'm
get
just
the
saying.
tacos.
Oh, okay.
Like
That's-
it's hard to not get like and like man, when I was a kid, it was always like the red and the green burritos.
Yeah.
You know, for like 99
I was
cents.
say getting
You
nickels
just,
and
like,
dimes together to try and get a
just
burrito.
like survive, you know, like it was like the gym. And yeah, I wish they had Del Taco out here. That's,
Yeah.
that's
So
the thing.
thank you, Mom, for sending birthday presents for Murpho. We got Portillo's,
Uh-huh.
All right.
beefs, and Chicago style pizza from
Nice.
Luma
Yeah.
Maddie's.
Thanks, Mama Tina.
Yay!
So the other thing though is they do have In and Out here.
Okay.
Okay, which
Yeah.
was a big thing on the West Coast.
Sure.
But it's like it's not the same because it's all different suppliers. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's a little letdown, I guess. But
It's still good. I mean,
yeah, it's still good.
Well, one thing I liked about Del Taco versus Taco Bell and Taco John's, which is the chains, it's like real ground beef. It's like real meat, and it doesn't seem that way at
at
Taco
Cabana.
John's. You know,
Taco
Taco
Cabana.
Cabana.
I don't know Taco John's.
Cabana.
Taco Cabana is a chain down here,
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
are It's real. I mean, they'll make it right there. You're not.
Yeah.
It's none of this it's fantastic
Right.
for a fast food joint. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I say fast food. That's
Yeah.
given it. It's not like Taco Bell where you get the thing in 30 seconds.
Sure.
You got to wait 5 minutes, but it is pretty good.
Yeah.
Hot rods
Yeah.
to tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hot rodder's got to eat food.
Yeah.
Give the guys some
Hot
good
rodder's
food.
got to eat too.
Yeah. Oh, and I didn't finish the lineup.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's all right. Jimmy Dale Richardson.
Oh,
nice.
nice.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
played
yeah.
here. Great.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
phenomenal. And then our big headliner is Mitch Polzak.
Mitch pulls that.
No,
Yeah.
Mitch Polzak.
More honky tonk rockabilly.
Okay, cool,
Really,
yeah.
really good. Kind of like Dale Watson.
I feel that.
Yeah, like Dale Watson.
Like, you know,
It's good to get like different and new vibes
Where's he out
and
of?
He's out of California.
California. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good,
California.
man.
Yeah.
so rad.
Yeah, a few of those bands have played
Saturday night's gonna be
at our stuff before.
All
Murpho's.
dressed up.
no, that's Friday night.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah.
Friday Halloween party.
And then like me and you talk, there's I'd say 90% chance that our special guest is going to be a famous chopper from it's getting a little older,
Up
but
there.
awesome.
Yeah.
And
Legend.
yeah, a legend.
will.
Yes, he is definitely a
Yes.
legend. So we're working on that right now, and I'd love to have him show up at the show and give you all some pointers.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah.
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 I'm sure he'll be over there and watching you.
You haven't
Be like,
dialed it
"Yes,
in like
yes, sir."
100%,
Be like
but
inside
I
my
think you're
hood.
95% sure that
He's turning around
Gene
and
might
jump. Yeah,
Yes.
you do.
pop up.
Yeah.
Scared the
Yeah.
shit out of you.
And that'll be great.
I definitely
Yeah.
want him there. You know?
Yeah.
So we're talking back and forth right
And
now.
he
so,
sure will. He'll be like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
yeah.
Let me help you with that.
I wouldn't expect any different from him.
No.
So-
Yeah.
That's the best part.
So
too.
yeah, you're
Maybe
close on that. That'll be a great one to have. And
Yeah.
it's again, he is a legend. So the more we can see of him and be with him, that's time that's precious. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Imagine what he's seen, starting from the guys who didn't, I mean, they weren't doing, there was nothing to call it. Kind of like what Will Chamberlain
Nothing.
with basketball, where they were just doing stuff. Like
Yeah.
the way that Keith Dean was
Nothing.
talking about how mad his mom was when Dick Dean picked up a brand new car. He drops her off at the house. He goes, okay. And she goes, where are you
Go
going?
fix
He goes,
it.
I'm going to go chop the top of this. She goes, are you crazy? And she lost her noodle.
Yeah.
And then, a week or so later, he brings it home and she's like going, all right.
Okay.
I get it.
Now we know.
Because he didn't even know what
Yeah.
to call it back then.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm just going to tinker with it.
Now
Next
we
thing you
know where
you're
your
right.
brain was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It is
Yeah.
amazing.
That's super cool.
Starting new trends.
New trends.
A little different for me. I'd bring a car home and I'd be like,
What are we
Why
doing
is
to
it
it?
chopped?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not chopped
He
yet.
turns around and he goes, I'm going to go take a shower. I go take a shower. He comes out and all of a sudden she's in her coveralls working on the car.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you doing? You leave me alone. I'm working.
Yeah. It's time to get to work.
My wife usually asks if she can put white walls on it.
Yes.
See,
Can we put white walls on it?
love
Yes.
her. She's so fashion forward when it comes to stuff.
That's her thing. Which I'm gonna put a shout out to Miss Mary McCarty. She's
Oh, man.
my wife, and she's the other part of the show. She's the front gatekeeper. And you come in,
She sure
She
is.
keeps the gate. She keeps it all straight. She keeps she's I couldn't do it without her for sure. So
Yeah.
you know,
Nice.
so-
Big shout out
when
to
you all get to
the
the
wifey.
to the Shindig, man, make sure you say hello to Miss Mary.
Yeah.
At the front gate.
You can't
or
miss
wherever
her.
you see
She's
Yeah,
this gorgeous woman.
Yep.
Just
Yeah.
beautiful. And the sweetest thing ever. Sweetest thing. So we love Mary.
Okay, so we got to wind this down, but once again, let's go over all the goodies. So everybody who's listened to this, if they need to contact you or get into the show or whatever they
Or
need
wanna
to-
help or volunteer.
volunteer,
Yeah.
Okay.
bring a car, bring a trailer, or whatever.
So the website's www.evilleshindig.com. You can go on there. You can register for anything. It's really easy to navigate, whether it's camping, vintage camping. You want to put your car in the show. If you want to vend, if you have something that you want to put in the vendors area, if you want to be in the art show, if you want to donate something for the Hottie Shriners for the art show, you can contact me through that. You can also get on our Facebook page and message me that way, and as well as the chop you guys are going to do. You can message them if you like, or you can message me. And that day, that whole weekend, like I said, we got a lot of stuff going on, so it's very busy, very fun. I'd say come out, check it out. You won't regret it. You'll come
No,
back.
won't regret.
Most people, once they do it, they're back every year. I've had people there every year and said they won't miss it. And then it's kind of gets in your blood.
It sounds like one of those
I
kind of
said.
shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am
That's it.
missing
And
next
if you
year.
haven't, put it on your bucket
Yeah.
list. Do it once just
Go to the
say-
show.
Yeah.
And by the way, for you guys that are out there, it's Eville like DeVille. It's Eville Shindig,
Yes.
right?
The Shindig.
Yeah.
Eville Shindig in Evansville, Indiana.
Yeah.
Right on.
And we have that at the Vandenberg Fairgrounds.
There we go.
Vandenberg.
You guys all heard it, Vandenberg Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Big Boss Man Bob, it has been an absolute pleasure first to have met you, but also to have you here.
Likewise, yes.
In
Thank
the
you.
shop.
Yeah.
driving
Yeah.
away your new toy. I can't wait till people see it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Custom Car
They go,
Revival.
oh, now I get it. I get it. That way you keep it quiet. This is badass.
Been fun. Been fun for sure.
Yeah. Thank you,
Right
brother.
on.
We wish you safe travels.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we'll be
We'll
in
see
touch
you.
and look forward to seeing you in a few months.
Okay. Definitely.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
It's great.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for listening to the Custom Culture Rodcast, brought to you by Murphy's Rod and Custom Shop and Jenny Shifter, the original and still the best Jenny Shifter. We are out.